merong pagtingin kasi na marami tayong tubig. Tuwing tag-ulan, maraming lugar ang binabaha sa atin. Kung kaya siguro hindi masyadong nasa kamulatan ng tao na mukhang may pagkukulang na tayo sa tubig. Ang hindi masyadong napapansin ngayon, particular pag sa Metro Manila, yung kalinisan niya. Kailangan malinis yung tubig para mapakinabangan natin. Pero marami kasing problema yung tubig sa Pilipinas na sinusubukan nga natin na ilabas para mas maintindihan ng mga tao, lalo na sa mga malalaking syudad. Saan nga ba galing ang tubig? Kadalasan, yung tubig natin nakasalalay sa mga watershed. Ito yung lugar sa kadalasan sa mataas na bahagi ng lupa. Ang Ipo watershed, ito yung pinagkukunan ng 98% ng tubig ng Metro Manila.
Napaka-importante ng Ipo watershed. Hindi lang po dito po talaga sa amin, lalo na po sa Metro Manila. Kung tutuusin po kasi, iyan ay buhay.
Water is life. Hindi pwedeng magkaroon ng buhay na walang tubig. Ganun ka-importante ang tubig sa atin. Kaya kailangan malagay sa kamulatan ng mga tao na kailangan na natin pakialaman ng tubig. Dahil hindi sigurado na pagbukas mo ng gripo mo, ay palagi may lalabas na.
Ngayon, itong Ipo Dam, kumbaga sa kadena, ito yung pinakamahinang bahagi. Kasi sa huling talaan, 60% na ng Ipo Dam ay kalbo. Pag kalbo ang isang watershed, pag umulan, yung ulan tatama sa lupa at dahil wala ng mga halaman o mga damo o mga puno na tumutulong na hawakan yung lupa, sumasama na siya sa ulan, na-erode yung lupa, nagiging silt sila, nahahalos siya sa tubig. Hindi lang sapat na may tubig ka kailangan malinis din siya. Kaya malaking bagay kapag kalbo yung mga bundok natin dahil tatangayin niya yung lupa at magiging walang silbi yung tubig sa atin dahil masyadong madumi. Sobra, kulang o kaya madumi. At itong mga problema na to, lalala pa ito dahil nga sa climate change. Sa panahon ng tag-ulan, mas dadami yung tubig pero wala naman tayong paraan sa ngayon para maipon yung tubig na to para mapagandaan yung tag-init na mas mainit naman at mas konti yung tubig. Yung solusyon talaga dito is kailangan mapangalagaan natin yung mga watershed. Pero hindi lang ito tungkol sa pagtatanim ng puno. Kasi sa karanasan natin, sa totoo lang, taon-taon nagtatanim tayo ng puno. Hindi kasi siya dapat tree planting Kaya tawag minsan tree growing, tree nurturing, tree mothering. Basta ang punto, kailangan palakihin mo siya kasi walang silbi yung maliit lang na puno dahil walang kakayanan niya na i-hold yung lupa. Mas importante na masiguro natin na lumaki nga yung mga puno. So, kasama dito, syempre, malaking bahagi yung pagpoprotekta. So, halimbawa sa Ipo watershed, sino ba yung nagpoprotekta dito? So, ang pangunahin dito yung mga bantay gubat na karamihan ay mga dumagat. Sila yung mga nakatira dito na tumutulong sa gobyerno para pangalagaan yung watershed na to para nga sa tubig na Metro Manila.
Wala pa itong watershed na ito. Itong Ipo, itong panang tubig na ito. Dito na kami nandiraan, yung aming mga ninuno ay dito na nakatira sila. Sa amin naman, mga katutubo dito sa Ipo, gusto namin maibalik talaga yung dating posisyon niya, yung dating kulay.
Na kailangan double talaga, yung double protection talaga gawin namin dito. Kailangan talaga pangalagaan, yung mga bantay gubat na poprotektahan nila na wala yung illegal logging, yung pagkakainin. So yung mga puno, nagtuloy-tuloy ng paglaki yun. Masaya ako kasi nakakatulong kami sa kanila kasi nasa amin nanggagaling yung kanilang kinabubuhay na tubig. Masaya po kami na nakakatulong sa kapwa namin.
So yung message nito ng climate change kasi is, alam na natin na may need for change. Ang tinuro kasi Yolanda is meron tayong urgent need for change. Kailangan na natin magbago, hindi na pwedeng business as usual. Yung mga corporations, marami silang mga pwedeng magawa o may tulong dito. Parang typical din na isang may bahay. Ang gusto ng lahat halos ngayon ay efficiency. Pag sinabi natin na water efficiency, yung sinisigurado mo na wala ka na sasayang. Ngayon ito yung next step na pangalagaan na natin yung watershed pa, hindi yung mismo pinagkukuhanan nyo ng tubig. Yung WWF Philippines ngayon ay may programa nga dito sa Ipo watershed na tinatawag natin na Forest for Water. Kung ma-ensure natin na may tubig tayo sa Metro Manila, saka dito para sa Bulacan. At pangunahin dyan, magtanim ka. Kailangan yung mga kalbong bahagi mataniman natin. Kailangan malinaw kung ano yung dapat mo itanim, saan ka dapat magtanim, paano ka dapat magtanim. Pero bukod pa ron, kailangan natin masiguro na lumaki siya. At marami pang mga ibang interesado pang tumulong na kasi namumulat na ng paunti-unti yung mga korporasyon na nakasalalay pala yung negosyo nila sa tubig. Kailangan pala, tingnan nila yung pinagkukuhanan nila ng yaman mula sa tubig na napakalaking bagay kasi yung tubig nakatali sa pagkain.
Ang ano ko lang, pangarap ko talaga sa susunod na henerasyon, mas dobling improvement ang maging na watershed kasi yung mga anak namin, syempre sila makikinabang. Tapos di sa rin, sa labas din, sa Metro Manila rin, mas dumadami yung populasyon, mas dapat talagang doblehin din yung pag-aalaga ng watershed.
Sa Pilipinas, merong pagtingin kasi na marami tayong tubig. Tuwing tagulan, maraming lugar ang binabaha sa atin. Kung kaya siguro hindi masyadong nasa kamulatan ng tao na mukhang may pagkukulang na tayo sa tubig. Ang hindi masyadong napapansin ngayon, particular pag sa Metro Manila, yung kalinisan niya, kailangan malinis yung tubig para mapakinabangan natin. Pero marami kasing problema yung tubig sa Pilipinas na sinusubukan nga natin na ilabas para mas maintindihan ng mga tao, lalo na sa mga malalaking syudad. Saan nga ba galing ang tubig? Kadalasan, yung tubig natin nakasalalay sa mga watershed. Ito yung lugar sa kadalasan sa mataas na bahagi ng lupa. Ang Ipo watershed, ito yung pinatukunan ng 98% ng tubig na Metro Manila.
Napaka-importante ng Ipo watershed. Hindi lang po dito po talaga sa amin, lalo na po sa Metro Manila. Kung tutuusin po kasi, iyan ay buhay.
Water is life. Hindi pwedeng magkaroon ng buhay na walang tubig. Ganun ka-importante ang tubig sa atin. Kaya kailangan malagay sa kamulatan ng mga tao na kailangan na natin pakailaman ng tubig. Dahil hindi sigurado na pagbukas mo ng gripo mo, ay palagi may lalabas na.
Ngayon, itong Ipo Dam, kumbaga sa kadena, ito yung pinakamahinang bahagi. Kasi sa huling talaan, 60% na ng Ipo Dam ay kalbo. Pag kalbo ang isang watershed, pag umulan, yung ulan tatama sa lupa at dahil wala ng mga halaman o mga damo o mga puno na tumutulong na hawakan yung lupa, sumasama na siya sa ulan, na-erode yung lupa, nagiging silt sila, nahahalos sa tubig. Hindi lang sapat na may tubig ka kailangan malinis din siya. Kaya malaking bagay kapag kalbo yung mga bundok natin dahil tatangayin niya yung lupa at magiging walang silbi yung tubig sa atin dahil masyadong madumi. Sobra, kulang o kaya madumi. At itong mga problema na to, lalala pa ito dahil nga sa climate change. Sa panahon ng tagulan, mas dadami yung tubig pero wala naman tayong paraan sa ngayon para maipon yung tubig na to para mapagandaan yung tag-init na mas mainit naman at mas konti yung tubig. Yung solusyon talaga dito is kailangan mapangalagaan natin yung mga watershed. Pero hindi lang ito tungkol sa pagtatanim ng puno. Kasi sa karanasan natin, sa totoo lang, taon-taon nagtatanim tayo ng puno. Hindi kasi siya dapat tree planting Kaya tawag minsan tree growing, tree nurturing, tree mothering. Basta ang punto, kailangan palakihin mo siya kasi walang silbi yung maliit lang na puno dahil walang kakayanan niya na i-hold yung lupa. Mas importante na masiguro natin na lumaki nga yung mga puno. So, kasama dito, syempre, malaking bahagi yung pagpoprotekta. So, halimbawa sa Ipo watershed, sino ba yung nagpoprotekta dito? So, ang pangunahin dito yung mga bantay gubat na karamihan ay mga dumagat. Sila yung mga nakatira dito na tumutulong sa gobyerno para pangalagaan yung watershed na to para nga sa tubig na Metro Manila.
Wala pa itong watershed na ito. Itong Ipo, itong panantog na ito. Dito na kami nandiraan. Yung aming mga ninuno ay dito na nakatira sila. Sa amin naman, mga katutubo dito sa Ipo, gusto namin maibalik talaga yung dating posisyon niya, yung dating kulay.
Kailangan double talaga yung double protection talaga gawin namin dito. Kailangan talaga pangalagaan yung mga bantay gubat na poprotektahan nila na wala yung illegal logging, yung pagkakainin. So yung mga puno, nagtuloy-tuloy ng paglaki yun. Masaya ako kasi nakakatulong kami sa kanila kasi nasa amin nanggagaling yung kanilang kinabubuhay na tubig. Masaya po kami na nakakatulong sa kapwa namin.
So yung message nitong climate change kasi is, alam na natin na may need for change. Ang tinuro kasi Yolanda is meron tayong urgent need for change. Kailangan na natin magbago, hindi na pwedeng business as usual. Yung mga corporations, marami silang mga pwedeng magawa o may tulong dito. Parang typical din na isang may bahay. Ang gusto ng lahat halos ngayon ay efficiency. Pag sinabi natin na water efficiency, yung sinisigurado mo na wala ka na sasayang. Ngayon ito yung next step na pangalagaan na natin yung watershed pa, hindi yung mismo pinagkukuhanan nyo ng tubig. Yung WWF Philippines ngayon ay may programa nga dito sa Ipo Watershed na tinatawag natin na Forest for Water. Yung may ensure natin na may tubig tayo sa Metro Manila tsaka dito para sa Bulacan. At pangunahin dyan, magtanim ka. Kailangan yung mga kalbong bahagi mataniman natin. Kailangan malinaw kung ano yung dapat mo itanim, saan ka dapat magtanim, paano ka dapat magtanim. Pero bukod pa ron, kailangan natin masiguro na lumaki siya. At marami pang mga ibang interesado pang tumulong na kasi namumulat na ng paunti-unti yung mga korporasyon na nakasalalay pala yung negosyo nila sa tubig. Kailangan pala, tingnan nila yung pinagkukuhanan nila ng yaman mula sa tubig na napakalaking bagay kasi yung tubig nakatali sa pagkain.
Ang ano ko lang, pangarap ko talaga sa susunod na henerasyon, mas dobling improvement ang maging na watershed kasi yung mga anak namin, syempre sila makikinabang. Tapos di sa rin, sa labas din, sa Metro Manila rin, mas dumadami yung populasyon, mas dapat talagang doblehin din yung pag-aalaga ng watershed.
So magandang hapon everyone. Good afternoon everyone. This is Gab Mejia from the WWF Philippines National Youth Council and welcome to the second episode of the art series of Conservation Conversation. So today is a very special day because we have a very special artist who will be co-hosting this webinar, who is no other than AG Sanyo. So Sir AG is a renowned and a multi-awarded Filipino artist who has painted more than 800 murals in 16 countries depicting peace and environment. Before the pandemic, he represented the Philippines as a fellow for the U.S. State Department's IVLP, or International Visitors Leadership Program, as part of promoting Arts for Social Change program, where 18 artists from 18 countries were brought together for a cultural exchange in the U.S. As a photographer, he has been involved in conservation work for the past 24 years. He is a founding member of Ballena.org and was the first photographer of the WWF Humpback Whale Research and Conservation Project. AG was given the WWF Heroes for the Environmental Award in 2011 for his massive street art environmental campaign called Dolphins Love Freedom, which attracted more than 200,000 volunteer painters from more than 65 countries to depict both the plight and beauty of marine environments. He has planted more than 50,000 plus trees, and he is not stopping anytime soon. So I'd like to welcome Sir AG. Hi, Sir AG. It's so nice to have you here, and thank you so much for sharing your time to be here. You know, it's so amazing to see. You know, I've seen your works all around Metro Manila. I remember going to the school, buying to school, and seeing your beautiful murals within the UP Diliman campus. So how are you, Sir AG?
Hi, Gab. First of all, thanks for having me here. I'm really excited to co-host this session with you. I'm excited to talk with the amazing young artist. And thank you for this initiative. Na sobrang galing nitong initiative. I'm really proud of you as a part of the National Youth Council of WWF. Well, for the audience watching us, this conservation conversation of WWF Philippines live stream series, which aims to encourage discourse on environmental conservation and active participation and others. And so this new artist series for conservation conversation is a special one because this series would be all about sharing the amazing works of local artists working on different mediums or media to depict stories, storytelling subjects of nature mostly, and how artists can ultimately be involved in conservation efforts for our forests and oceans.
Yeah, that's so true, Sir AG. I think this is so an exciting thing because we're just grateful to have you here to lead this discussion. We have so many ideas, so many stories that you can share, and there's just so much to learn from all the artists that we have, from the lineup that we have for today's episode for Kagubatan.
Yeah, that's true. I've been around for quite a while, but I never stopped listening to new artists and finding out about how they use art for conservation efforts and for other advocacies. So this whole series is really dedicated to the conservation of the Ipo watershed with the growing concerns of inundation of our watersheds. Yeah, so we collaborated with inspiring Filipino artists to create work on different types of forests in the Philippines that will be showcased in a virtual gallery exhibit to be able to garner support and of course funds for seedlings to restore the Ipo watershed and ultimately support the people protecting these forests. And the launch would be on November 10.
Yeah, that's so thank you so much for everyone for joining us today on this live stream. And I guess, without further ado, let's all introduce our artists. So our first one up is a visual artist and muralist. She is a 27-year-old visual artist and muralist known mostly for her intricate black and white body of work. So over the years, she has learned to channel her emotions and experiences into the lines, shapes, and patterns of her work, turning her art into an instrument of release as well. She has been invited to share her story and her process of using art as a form of self-expression at various events around the metro and even in global conferences held in Sydney and Australia. And her work has been featured in various websites and television shows such as the Philippine Star, the Lifestyle Network, ABS-CBN, My Puhunan with Karen Davila, ANC Shop Talk, TV5, Action Tonight, and GMA Good News, just so much. And she has also collaborated with several brands such as Guess, Heineken, Johnny Walker, Mentos, YouTube, Samsung, Fino Leatherware, SM, Toblerone, and Google. So, it's really amazing how our artist for today has been collaborating even with corporations as well as the different medias that we have. And come 2016, she took her work into a much larger scale and now enjoys creating wall murals and commissioned artworks for various establishments and private residences both here and abroad. So I guess let's all welcome Cara Pangilinan. Hi, Cara.
Hi. Hold on. There you go. Hey, Gab. Hey, Sir AG. Thank you so much for having me. It's a big honor to be alongside you guys and all the other artists here.
No, thank you so much, Cara, for being here, for spending your time and sharing your works with us. So I guess your next artist, Sir AG?
Yeah, the next artist is a good friend of mine, actually. No, this guy has many hats to wear. He is a visual storyteller and adventurer. Finding a home in the mountains, he has had the opportunity to witness both the beauty and fragility of many wild places. So from tracing the glacial source of the Ganges River in the Himalayas to stand up paddling the entire length of the majestic Pasig River. His photographs and stories resonate with the reality of our natural world and its delicate beauty. And it is these experiences that draw him to lend a voice to the environment. He spoke at the Youth Climate Strike in Manila and had the opportunity to narrate a film for Prince William's conservation endeavor called the Earth Shot Prize. So he's also part of Baliana.org. Once upon a time, let's all welcome Javi Kang.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Hi, Gab. Hi, AG. Hi, Kara. Thank you for having me. It's a big honor and it's a privilege to extend whatever help I can to the Ipo watershed.
Thanks so much,
Uh,
Javi.
Thanks,
So
Javi.
you're-
Thank you.
Yeah. Next, I guess, is a 23-year-old queer interdisciplinary artist. His body of work advocates for a natural heritage by creating stories of culture and nature with nurture. So by decolonizing and raising awareness of the representation of the plethora of Philippine indigenous flora and fauna species and the important roles that they play in the environment for biodiversity protection and conservation. As a celebration of queer ecology and documentation of choreography of power on how the ecosystem is controlled and changing and how indigenous species participate in the cycle of change. He mirrors the patterns of movements of indigenous flora and faunas that have contributed to the spiritual social correlations in our rich traditions, folklore, and culture. So let's all welcome Chesley Nofiel, and also known as Alaga at Sining. So hi, Chesley.
Hello! Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Salamat sa oportunidad na ito para makapagbahagi, pati na rin sa proyekto natin na Exhibit na Kagubatan.
Yan, magandang gabi rin
Maraming
sa'yo.
salamat.
Maraming salamat.
So I guess last but definitely not the least, AG, Sir AG.
Yeah, of course.
Would you like
Last
to
but
introduce?
definitely not the least, another person who I've met already in recent years. Now we have this queer Filipino documentary photographer whose works are an exploration of the human condition, the discovery of self, of others, of the mountains of differences in between, and the empathy through which we cross them. So he's a National Geographic explorer, currently working on a visual documentary that explores the intersectionality of gender and cultural identities among indigenous communities that have suffered from displacement, loss of ancestral land, and conflict in Mindanao. And so his recent works can be seen on Nat Geo, Vice News, CNN Philippines, Rappler, and Tatler Asia. And he's currently commissioned by UNICEF Philippines and other local nonprofit organizations. So let's all please welcome Pao Villanueva. Welcome, Pao.
Hi, Pao.
Gab, and to our fellow artists. I'm a fan of everyone,
Yay.
honestly. So excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Good to see you again, Pao.
Okay, good to see you, sir.
Yeah, it's so amazing, you know, dito lang sa Zoom na to, sobrang dami mo tututunan how everyone here has been, you know, working on different kind of subjects and really exploring and understanding the changing environments that we have and how the people are, you know, interacting with the spaces that we navigate in. And I guess, you know, Sir AG, what do you think should really be, you know, the kind of starting point in really bringing this discussion of, you know, Filipino local youth artists working or artists really working on nature?
Yeah,
As someone who has been on the field for quite a long time. I mean, not long, not to.
Pwede mong sabihin, matanda. Lolo AG na Lolo AG. Yan. Yeah, I think we have a lot of interesting questions na gusto namin malaman sa mga artists natin. No? Before I get into the first question, parang sobrang impressive na I was listening to each one's parang introduction from Gab and the way I introduced my friend Javi and Pao. Parang it's like expecting someone even older than me, no? Kasi sobrang ganda sobrang lawak na nung mga nagawa nila your body of work, no? So it's really a very interesting session today. So why don't you introduce yourselves and tell us what kind of mediums or media and subjects of nature you work on, and of course your advocacies through arts.
Yeah, so I guess we can start with Kara.
Okay, sure. So hi again. Nice to meet everybody today. So I think that my line of work is quite different compared to everybody here because I am a full-time artist, but not a full-time conservation. That's not my main advocacy, but then that's why it's also so interesting to be part of this discussion because what I realized with my work, because I've always drawn plants and animals, even if it didn't start off as a way to bring awareness to them for the sake of conservation. But then I think the thing about art is that when you create something and bring your attention to these things, these creatures, even like a simple leaf, and be very specific about it, the viewers look at it in a different way. And that's what I realized also when I started drawing, making nature my main subject. People ask questions, and the people who receive the paintings want to know more about the plants, want to know more about the animals, which is why the learning for me about the environment and about the more specific details about it came recently. It was like an after effect, because I realized that art could be a tool for much more than just creating beautiful paintings, but being part of things like this. So I guess that's where I'm headed, and it was a long journey. I've been an artist for 10 years already, and my I guess the shift started in 2018 when I started diving, and then I started like exposing myself and meeting more people who are really, people like you, like Gab, like Javi, people like Rachel Halili of Where to Next, who are just so in love with the environment. And it's just like, okay, we can use our craft for so much more than what we started with, I guess. So yeah, there, I hope I answered the question, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've been working on lately.
That's actually is very interesting, Kaya, because most of the times, I guess in this community and conservation, it really starts with people, kind of the cliche, they go through nature first and they find art as a tool to express that. But
Yeah.
it's like you started with, art
Yeah.
first, really involving in art first, and then really going into to nature and, working on details, being specific with nature. So I guess, what about you, Javi?
Hey, everyone. Thanks again for having me.
Where are you coming?
And I think, sorry, go.
Oh no, where are you calling from?
Calling from New Zealand now. Yeah, I took my master's here a year back, and because of COVID, I'm pretty much stuck, and I haven't had a chance to visit in a long time. But yeah, I mean, just going back to that question earlier, Gab, how, I guess in a similar light that we're saying about how a lot of us go into nature and we develop sort of a sincere appreciation of what we see and what we observe, and sort of attempting to capture that through art. And my medium that I found was photography. And I think throughout the years, just being able to have the privilege of being outdoors, and I guess also having the burden of seeing all the changes around me, has sort of pushed me to find a voice and share that on social media. Because I think for me, it's like, it's the changes that are happening around us are so apparent. And even though they are so apparent, a lot of times the actions being taken by governments and corporations around us do not reflect those changes that are happening. And I think if we're able to sort of bring those changes to light in whatever medium, whatever platforms we can, then I think those changes are sort of worth acting upon.
Yeah, I think it's really, really, the power of being able to express your work through photography, and really showing it. I guess, connecting with the audiences that you have and the people, because everyone's, I guess, not as very connected. Everyone's a bit more connected now in the digital age, and really, there's really power in being able to showcase your work and share your opinions in social media, your factual science based opinions, right? Because we don't want kind of that misinformation also happening with what we put out there or what we show in the internet. So AJ, do you have
Sure.
anything to share? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys are doing humanity and the planet a great service, because you're speaking the truth through your lens, through your skills. And I can relate to what you guys said na even si Cara na in the beginning you have this talent and then the question is what do you do with it, di ba? Yeah, that's the thing. Ako naman, I can relate to what Abby said. He used the word privilege, no? And actually, the truth is for most of us, seeing nature is a privilege, no? But then that's part of the calling, no? Being brought out there, and then again, nature speaks to you and asks you, then what do you do now, di ba? We can always choose na, let's just live our life na ganito na lang. Let's hide everything from society. But then, yun, these times are different na compared to, let's say, 40, 50 years ago when hindi pa pinag-uusapan talaga yung emergency ng situation, di ba? And this is the time when we should use our skills to bring out the truth. No? And speaking of that, our next two guests would be perfectly perfectly represent that that concept. Why don't we hear from them?
Yeah, Chesley, I think it's really brushes on that topic of decolonizing kind of that privilege also.
Yeah. So, ayun, magandang hapon ulit sa inyo. Ako si Alagat Sining. At karamihan sa mga ginagawa ko ay tungkol sa mga ilustrasyon ng mga katutubo at mga endemikong espesye ng halaman at hayop na matatagpuan sa Pilipinas. Kung titignan natin yung kasaysayan ng Pilipinas, sobrang laki talaga ng naging epekto ng kolonisasyon. Hindi lang sa lupa natin, kundi rin sa ating pag-iisip, sa ating kinokonsumo na media, sa ating kinokonsumo na sining. Kumbaga nakikita ko yung mga ilustrasyon na ginagawa ko kamakailan bilang wika. So wika ng kalikasan. Kung ano yung mga nakikita natin, kung saan tayo nalulublob sa kalikasan, yun yung ginagawa nating pagpapahayag. Yun yung ginagamit nating pananalita na sining visual, kumbaga. So, sa proseso ko, ginagawa ko na, sinusubukan ko na i-decolonize talaga. Sinusuri ko na, ito bang hayop na to? Ito bang halaman na to, na nasa disenyo na ito, na nasa damit na to, na nasa baso na to, na nasa design na ito, ay mula sa Pilipinas? Kasi palagi ko tinatanong, hinahanap ko talaga yung pagkakakilanlan ko bilang isang Pilipino sa isang disenyo. Na nandun yung masasabi ko na hindi produkto ng kolonisasyon. Isa sa mga advokasyon na ginagawa ko is yung sinusubukan ko talaga suriin kung alin yung atin. Bukod sa mga ilustrasyon na mga nagawa ko, ngayon ay sinusubukan ko rin i-explore yung larangan ng land art o yung paggamit ng mga ephemeral na mga kagamitan, katulad ng mga dahon at ng lupa mismo, mga bagay na makikita natin sa kalikasan na available dyan palagi sa atin.
Napakagaling at napakalalim nung pagpapakilala ni Kalay. And totoo yan, yung pagtingin kasi natin sa ating kultura, sa ating sining, sobrang na-impluwensyahan nung hundreds of years na napailalim tayo sa 'di ba, sa mga colonizers. And because of that, nag-iiba rin yung truths natin, 'di ba? Kasi ang lalim ng influence, or let's say hindi man malalim, matagal yung influensya. Para ma-undo, kailangan ng mga tulad na ganyan na movement na pagpapahalaga dun sa kung ano yung nangyari o nauna before dumating tong mga colonizers na nagpalunok sa atin nung mga konsepto nila, di ba? So napakaganda, napakalalim, and excited pa ako marinig yung mga ibang kwento. I'm sure mga nakikinig din sa atin. And si Pao siguro, pwede tayong dalin sa mundo niya, kung ano yung pinagdaanan niya. Kasi hindi siya basta photographer eh. Iba din yung advocacy niya, yung parang hindi lang yung kalikasan at yung pagkatao, makikita mo sa trabaho niya. Yan. So, Pao.
Yan. So ako ay isang documentary photographer, and nagsimula ang aking journey towards documentary photography unang time na umakyat ako sa bundok, sa Bukidnon. So natutuwa ako sa mga lumad communities dahil hindi lang sa nakilala ko sila, pero nakilala ko din yung sarili ko throughout the process. So from then on, nag-shift na yung aking mga trabaho, yung aking body of works And nahanap ko yung meaning ng craft ko, ng aking medium, ang medium of photography, na pwede pala siya gamitin as a tool for social change. So currently, I'm working towards a photo documentary about the gender expansive lumad, or lumad who identify as part of the LGBT community. So napakaganda ng experience ko with lumad communities, dahil sa kanila ko natanggap yung tunay na acceptance, yung respeto na hinahangad ko bilang part of the community. And growing up in the city, wherein we're used to a culture of hate, of discrimination, hindi ko naramdaman yun sa mga lumad communities and lumad people na nakasalamuha ko. So, ang project ko ay tungkol sa pag-explore ng intersectionality ng queer and cultural identities sa indigenous communities na nag-suffer from displacement, loss of ancestral land, and conflict. Dahil, hindi ko makalimutan din yung sinabi sa akin ng isang, naturi ko siyang best friend na lumad na nag-identify din siya as part of the community, na ang lupa ay buhay. And nag-uugat yung identity niya bilang LGBT, bilang lumad sa lupa, at kung wala ang lupa, wala siyang, di niya alam kung sino siya, kumbaga.
Yeah, grabe yung body of work, mga Filipaw, and sobrang hanga talaga kami na sobrang, parang napapakita mo talaga yung pag-accept or identities, the different identities and diversity of the Philippines, because the environment isn't just really about like the flora and fauna. It's also about the humanity in it, the people, navigating in these environments that we have and showing it. But I guess from all of you, I guess one question is really what's the challenge? Ano yung medyo, kasi bilang artist, I think meron mga hurdles or may mga hadlang na hindi tayo, na minsan mahirap maipakita ito. Is it more of the self, or is it more of society that pushes you to kind of hinder you from expanding, or you're continuing your work as an artist? I think maybe we can start with Pao for this time, or
Sure. Okay, so actually I did my research now. So ang Philippines is among one of the most unsafe places for journalists like me. And alongside of that, we are ranked second deadliest country in the world for environmental activists and defenders. So ang press freedom sa ating bansa, nag-take siya ng further blow dahil sa current administration natin, dahil sa explicitly pag-express nila ng contempt para sa mga media workers. Nakita natin yun through attacks against the press and media workers, and actually pati visual storytellers. So I think with this kind of intimidation in our line of work, honestly I fear that the young ones will be afraid to continue the work we do. So sana hindi, sana magpatuloy, and kaya din tayo nandito para ipakita na may halaga, na kailangan natin to gawin, na importante itong ginagawa natin.
Grabe talaga.
Yeah, I'm sure Pao maraming may inspire, no? And inspiration actually creates movements eh. Yan, kaya yung ikaw mismo makakapag-move ka tao without you even exerting effort. In that sense, just continue doing what you're doing. You have people supporting you, and I can really relate kasi tumira din ako sa mga indigenous people for almost 2 years ako sa mga Ibaloy, and ganun din yung naramdaman ko. Parang yun yung mundo na hindi ka i-discriminate. Hindi, I mean, of course you probably stand on a more fragile ground than me, pero yung doon ko naramdaman yung pagmamahal na instant, na parang instant na pamilya mo sila kahit hindi ka nila kadugod, di ba? Yan. Kaya yung ganun din yung dahil because of that, yung pagpapahalaga natin sa kanila parang yung nagiging fuel to protect them. And just the same as yung sila Habi, sila Kalay, sila parang yung and Gab, of course, yung love mo for nature, and you love nature, and that's why you're here to protect, and we use art for that.
Can I go next?
Yeah, you like to
Yes,
share,
please.
Kara?
Yes, please.
Please.
Okay. Well, I think one of the, I guess, the challenges would be something, maybe like let the stakes be a bit lower on my end. It's just choosing or having the courage to pursue the things that you want to advocate. Because one is that I think there's always that other side where you have to earn money and you have to eat, you have to be practical. And there are times that when you want to pursue your passions, these are the things that you have to carve out the time for. And sometimes that's very difficult. So it could be like people may see that as a small thing, but I think that's a starting point. Because you have to choose to do the thing that you want to do. If you want to like the work of Pau and of Gab and Happy. Sometimes I don't understand how you can do all the 1 million things that you guys are doing. But it's people like you that inspire others to act also. So sometimes there's a bit of pressure to pressure and fear also on the part of the artist or the advocate, because it's like they said a while ago, it's easier to stay relaxed or stay silent and just live your life like what Sir AG said. But when if everybody just chooses to do that, then ano mangyayari? Parang how are things going to change and improve? So that's always a struggle for me, and I think for many other artists and advocates. Then that's it.
Yeah, I think that's a really important note. It's really more sometimes we question like if is art really just for the privilege, even sometimes environmentalism, right? Like environmentalism or activist movements are for the privilege, because I think in more Western countries also they have the, I guess, the quality of life that allow you to be able to move freely and not have the same fears and threats like what Pao was saying as an environmental activist or as a journalist or as a photographer working in the field. But I guess, yeah, these stories are the ones that really inspire and push more young artists to really go on out there. Like, what are we really willing to risk to really push and continue the work that we do, the work that you guys do, and it's so much important. So, what about you, Javi or Chesley?
I can go.
Okay.
Unless you want to go, Chesley, or
You can go first.
sige. Well, actually, perfect segue also, because I was going to speak about privilege, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges that I sort of, I guess you could say, grapple with whenever I try to sort of share my ideas, my thoughts on the environment and the different challenges that we face, as a collective society. And I think for me, it's really about how we can sort of understand our privilege deeper, and how we can leverage on that in order to figure out more multidisciplinary approaches to, more disciplinary solutions to problems. And I think one sort of example that I could probably share is like, when you think about the Pasig River, it's so easy to sort of funnel the problem into, one sort of facet of, environmental pollution. But like, when in fact, when you really spend time in the Pasig River, you'll probably understand that it's not just about the environmental degradation that's happening in the river, but it's about all the different sort of problems in our system that are contributing to the degradation of the river. Education, the how the planning has been going on in the city, the types of support that our lesser fortunate communities are receiving, who probably cannot afford to think about, what they dispose into the river. And for me, it's about understanding your privilege and how you can use your own multidisciplinary skills in order to contribute to that solution. So it's not, it's not just if you're part of the environmental movement directly, but also if you're passionate about the environment, but how can you apply it in your own field? So, whether if you're in marketing or if you're in, some corporate office, there are always avenues in which you can utilize your skills to contribute for the better to the environment and to society. And I think that all begins with understanding your own privileges that you have.
Yeah, I definitely agree with this, Javi. Like understanding is also a part of the process to acceptance of your privilege, and really being able to use it wisely. And because art is, I guess, political, the multi layers that it has, in a way that even the Pasig River, how the environment is also a political subject. And a lot of people, or not a lot of people, like people kind of tend to shy away from that, or like they ignore that side of that picture, when it's basically ingrained or innate in what we create and who we are as a person, like what background you're coming from, what social status you're coming from, because it generally subconsciously in a way translates to the art that you create also, right? And where you want to use it, the intentions that you have for that art. I guess Chesley, do you have any ano?
So yung idadagdag ko na lang siguro is yung nasabi mo, Gab, at yung nasabi ni Pao, na lahat ng ginagawa natin sa sining ay political. Kahit yung mga pinakamaliit na bulaklak o yung mga isang landscape portrait ay political. Kasi ito yung mga pinaglalaban natin, ito yung mga gusto natin na mangyari. At para sa akin, ang hirap lang rin hamunin yung mga tao sa sistema natin ngayon. So para nakikita ko, very structural talaga yung problema in this capitalist system, na ang parang nasa notion ng tao is yung sining is for art's sake lang, na para sa ganda lang, hindi pwede maging political, hindi pwedeng maging paraan para maging pakikibaka. So ang ganda lang na ginagamit natin na yung sining nagtatranscend siya not just into art making but also to using art as a design. Di ba? Tapos isa rin sa mga siguro nakita kong problema is yung sa materiality sa Pilipinas. Like for example, kung siguro sa mga traditional artists na halimbawa kung gumagamit sila ng mga pintura or like ng mga tela, isa sa mga hamon din yung availability, kung yung material na ba yun ay sustainable at ethical na ginawa. And salamat.
And maraming masasapol dun sa statement na yun kasi sa totoo lang, well, the capitalist system kasi ano yan, siya yung kinabuhayan natin, kinamulatan natin, we were born into the system. Hindi tayo basta makakapagbago niyan overnight, di ba? And I admire the artists who choose not to conform, yeah, and who chooses to use their art as a weapon for change. And kaya yung tulad nung ilan lang yung tulad mo, Chesley, na gumagamit nung material na organic na galing sa lupa. May mga kilala ko na ganyan. At konti lang kayo yung kayang maglabas ng tapang para gawin yon, na to say, probably say no to the modern media, modern art medium. Yan. And yung natuwa ako doon sa sinabi mo na gumagamit ka ng dahon, ng mga found objects. So naalala ko nung pag nagtuturo ako sa mga liblib na lugar, na wala namang pambili ng notebook or ng even sketchpad or papel. Hindi naman all the time makaka-gather ako ng donations for them. So ang ginagamit namin medium is yung buhangin sa tabing dagat. Palagi ko nakita ni Javi before nung nag-sand art kami sa Babuyan Islands. Tapos kasi sabi ko, ito napakayaman nyo sa buhangin. Mag-drawing tayo sa buhangin. Tapos nandiyan ng mga dahon na hulog, yung mga bato, gawa tayo ng mandala. Grabe yung yung galak ng mga kabataan dahil hindi nila ma-imagine before na pwede pala sila mag-art kahit hindi sila bibili ng lapis at papel, di ba? Kaya napakagandang palaga natin yan. And that in itself is a way to decolonize art and to be political about it instantly. No? Yan. Gab, meron akong gusto isingit na tanong sana sa kanila, no? One by one, maybe quickly. Sino yung mga inspirations ninyo? Who are your inspirations sa art ninyo? Probably, let's say, a person you look up to, a celebrity or a great artist, a master. Sino kaya? Sino ba yung mga inspirations?
If I can go ahead, because I think my answer is pretty easy, and I would say you, AG. I mean, we met quite a long way back, and I remember when we met, you were painting on the banca of Hardy
Si Harley.
in coming in. And for me, I just felt so inspired watching you, and being able to see how you put your love for nature on a canvas. But I mean, in this case, it was a boat. But just being able to show your love for nature through your art. And for me, I wasn't that into photography yet, but I knew that art can be a medium to show your love for nature and share that to the world, and how powerful it can be.
Grabe, na-record ba natin yun? Parang gusto kong
Oo,
i-play over and
naka-live.
over. I mean, Happy Camp.
Pwede i-replay sa Facebook.
Quickly pala gusto ko lang tuloy ikwento.
Yeah.
There was one time, we had parang launching of a mural. Tapos nandun si Erwan Yusuf. And then he approached Javi and said, I'm following you on Instagram. Tapos lahat mong nakarinig parang, what the heck? Sabi ko doon sa mga nakarinig, actually, Javi's following me on Instagram din eh. It's I mean, I'm very happy to find out na simple stuff can actually parang inspire people, and wow, I'm really honored, Javi, to hear that.
Actually, Sir AG, we have some kind of works, like the starting works that maybe we can trace from the artist. The artists shared like a photo or two of their beginnings, or kind of their whole inspiration. So maybe we can I'll share that to the screen.
All right, let's do it.
So I think this is from Chesley.
Yes.
Care to explain?
Oh yeah, sure. So, ayan, isa sa mga pinaka-paborito kong sinabi ng isa sa mga founder ng Babaylan Studies ng Philippines is sinabi niya na yung dating mga nililikha natin talaga ay ephemeral. So, mga naglalaho, mga panandalian lamang, o kung ano talaga yung nandyan na makikita natin, yun yung gagamitin. So, parang ito yung nagtulak sa akin kamakailan simula nung pandemya na subukan yung ibang medium na bukod sa ilustrasyon na ginagamit ko. Next. And then, ito naman, isa sa mga ritual na ginawa ko sa kagubatan ng Arroceros Park, yung Last Lang of Manila. So, itong ritual na ito, sobrang special nito sa akin. Kasi dati yung sining, ginagamit ko siya bilang pagtakas. Tapos ngayon naman, ginamit ko yung sining bilang pagharap sa mga emosyon ko na hindi ko pinansin o mga na-suppress at na-repress na mga emotion. Nakita ko yung sining bilang modality rin ng healing na pinagaling ko yung sarili ko. Na kung ano yung nararanasan ng kagubatan na yon, sinubukan ko sa pakiramdaman na yung gubat na pala to, may mga sakit din na nararanasan, may mga dapat ring ayusin, at sinubukan ko rin yun gawin sa sarili ko sa loob ng gubat na yun. So, kumbaga, parang pinanganak ko yung sarili ko. In psychology, yung tawag nila is yung reparenting. Yung parang ikaw na yung magiging magulang sa sarili mo, na ipaparinig mo yung mga dapat na malulusog na salita na naranasan mo sa pagpapalaki sa'yo. So, yun yung ginawa ko sa gubat na yan. Bukod doon, isa sa mga pagtatanghal na ginawa ko sa gubat na yon is nag-alay ako ng sayaw para sa mga halaman, para sa mga hayop na nandun. Sa proseso ng ritual na ginawa ko, sinubukan ko talaga na pakiramdaman kung alin yung mga hayop at mga halaman na nandun at ano yung mga sayaw na ginagawa nila. So bilang pagbalik loob sa kalikasan, sa paghilom na binigay nila sa akin, nag-alay ako ng sayaw para sa kanila. So ito naman, isa sa mga paborito kong quote na sinabi ni Babadieu na in the end, we will conserve only what we love. We will only love what we understand, and we will understand only what we are taught. Napakahalaga nito sa konserbasyon kasi kapag nabuo yung pag-unawa natin sa mga dapat natin bigyan ng pansin na napasa ilalim na sa isang kolonyal na pag-iisip, mas nabibigyan pa natin ng opportunity to para kilalanin pa, para alagaan pa, para protektahan pa.
Wow, sobrang hanga talaga ako, Chesley. Sobrang profound and sobrang, alam mong, ang lalim ng pinaghuhugutan or pinanggagalingan.
Yes! Like, akala ko talaga dati yung sining is like personal lang.
Yeah.
And then over time, mas naging communal pa siya sa proseso ko. Sobrang saya.
So I think this is from Kara.
Yeah. Now I'm shy. Okay. Okay, so the work that I do, I guess it's really, my background is architecture, and a lot of it is inspired by by spaces. So most of the things I do are for people's homes, living rooms, office spaces. And I guess what everybody seems to want is for them to is for you to sort of bring the nature into their homes. And this one on the right, let's start with that. It was for a farmhouse in Tagaytay. And so this person was essentially a farmer, and he loved his plants, and all he wanted was to still have it indoors. So the inspiration here, I really had to be there, and just it was so easy because it's everywhere around me. So it's very easy for me to draw when I'm when my subjects are everywhere, I guess. So that was a really fun thing to create. And then it's a much smaller scale because I deal with individuals, families, and it's a conversation with them to see what they want and why this plant, why this animal. Like for the left, actually Malian kasi my inspiration there was Tamsi, the local hummingbird. And the problem, which I'm not sure others will relate to, is I'm always so scared to, because for photographers, you capture it, it's beautiful, it's there. For artists, I'm so scared to make a mistake with the technical, you know, the like I think here, but my tail is too long and the wing is different or something like that. So it requires you to really pay attention to the creature, and you'll really see the different details in each one. Like the eagles from here are different from there, and that's kind of what I want to just get better at. And but it used to stop me from drawing animals at all, because I was always so scared to be wrong. And I'm even flowers, but then I also decided not to be so you know, not to let that stop me, and to just keep learning, which is why the photographers inspire me a lot. I was going to answer Gab and Javi for my inspiration kanina, kasi ano I'm amazed with the medium, because that's what we sort of try to achieve as artists. Not naman photorealistic, but try to capture the same kind of thing, except with our hands or with different, you know, with paints, with different mediums. And then I wasn't able to submit other stuff, but I just grabbed my other stuff here. I'll just show flash ko na lang here.
Ooh.
These are stuff. It's all in people's homes, but these are postcard versions of very large artworks, and I guess there's an emotional aspect to a lot of them.
Oh.
And that's why it was baliktad ngayon yung process ko, because for others it was a love for nature that made them find them, like what Javi said, made them find a medium to share it. And then for me, it started with just a love for art, and then the love for nature came in afterwards. And I'm just trying to keep being able to share it better, or to have a lot more depth in the work that I do, because I know I can create it. I just want to create for better causes, I guess, and be, you know, like contribute, also do my part for this cause. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Kara. I guess, well, we're almost running out of time, actually. You know, I want to spend the whole day talking with everyone and getting all their ideas and thoughts. You know, it's just so amazing to have everyone here. But I guess next, Javi, I
Yeah. So this photo, I guess, is not necessarily my favorite or what has inspired me. It's just a photo that I took earlier this year, but it's something, I guess, that is quite similar with a lot of other photographs that I take. And the theme, I guess, revolves around the scale of us and nature. And I guess it reflects our complex relationship that we have with nature. This tree is a Macocarpa, and it's a tree that I used to cycle to almost every week. And I used to just sit down by the tree, spend some time with it, and just, you know, enjoy its presence. It's a nice tree, but unfortunately last week it was cut down, and I think for me, it reflects a lot again about our complex relationship with nature, about how, in almost every aspect of nature, we are overpowered, we are oversized, and we are outscaled by nature. But then our actions are very decisive on how it can change the course of nature. And we probably see that, everywhere, and especially with this cause with the Ipo watershed. That's something that has been happening for a long time, and something I guess that I hope people realize that we have huge impact on nature.
Yeah, we actually saw the image that you shared that it got cut down the other day, and it's just so tragic. But yeah, our actions really have its implications, and sometimes we feel like we're always on control, like we think we know everything, but we really don't. And I guess Pao, such a powerful photograph, such a beautiful photograph.
Ayan. So, this photo, galing siya sa aking project, documentary project, Nat Geo COVID-19 Emergency Grant. So, photo na to ay taken sa Bakwit School during the pandemic. So, honestly, ang masasabi ko sa photo na to, nalungkot ako nung nakita ko yung eksena kasi nagkakwentuhan kami. Ang name pala niya is Alviena. So, isa siyang, at that time, siya ay 21 years old, grade 10 Lumad student. At she's wearing the traditional dress for women for Tiboli. I wanna pronounce it pero baka mali. Kegal. Ayan. So, Kegal. Ayan. Yun yung tawag sa dress nila. Sabi niya sa akin na namimiss na niya suotin yung dress nila. Namimiss na niya yung community nila sa Lake Cebu. For me, kung isa-summarize sa isang photo yung pinaka essence ng ginagawa ko, I think ito yun dahil ito yung epekto kung hindi natin protektahan yung nature. Because indigenous people are like the guardians of our ecosystem, and kung hindi natin unahin yung needs nila, hindi ko alam kung saan natin matututunan na kung paano natin tunay na hahalagahan at aalagaan ang nature. So, yan yun for me.
Wow. Sino naging pinaka-inspiration mo, Pao, sa, I guess, pag-documentary or something?
Honestly, kayong lahat, sobrang na-inspire niyo ko lahat. Lalo na si Hannah because naging mentor ko si Hannah. Pero photography-wise, idol ko si Anders Petersen. Isa siyang Swedish photographer, street photographer siya. And natutunan ko sa kanya na to be able to get to know someone, you have to stay at that moment. You have to stay with them para ma-represent mo sila ng maayos. And ang ganda kasi ng body of work niya because tinanggal niya yung stigma for kasi sa sa isang bar lagi siya doon nag-document. And ang ganda ng pagtanggal ng stigma niya sa mga tao doon na tao rin sila. Okay? Parang kumbaga ganun yung pinaka-essence ng work niya. So yun, idol ko yun. And idol ko kayo lahat.
Kayo, Sir AG, actually, para matanong yung question back, sino yung idol niyo?
Yan, napakaganda nung tanong. Parang gusto ko nga talagang sagutin. As a young kid, yung tatay ko kasi nag-introduce ng photography sa pamilya. No? Naalala ko pagka umuwi siya nag-OFW siya for a while. Pag umuwi siya, may dala siyang nakasabit sa leeg niya. Parang excited kami magkakapatid. Akala namin camera na. Tapos, binoculars lang pala. Tapos finally, eventually, nakabili siya ng camera. Pinapanood ko sila. Tapos yung nanay ko, natuto din. Yung dalawang kuya ko, natuto din. Ako na yung parang ko na may barkada pala yung parents ko. Nakasama nila matagal na magagaling na photojournalists. Tapos, so na-expose kami doon sa mga photojournalists ito. And then one day, nalaman ko na ito palang tito-tito ko na kaibigan nila. is a two-time Pulitzer Prize winner. Na sobrang
Wow.
simple lang yan. So mula nung I think grade school o high school si Tito Romy Gakad. Then finalo ko yung works niya. Tapos na yung eventually nakakausap ko na siya, medyo may edad na ako. Siya yung nag-inspire sa akin na maging photographer din. Yan. Tapos of course, yung na-meet ko na yung mga magagaling, the greats, sila Alex Baluyot. Tapos yun, may mga ka-age din ako, contemporary rin ako na naging magaling sa photography early on. Yan. Tapos na-mentor ako nila si Richard na tinatawag na Baghari. Siguro na-meet nyo na. Pero naka-base na sa ibang lugar. Yun yung mga nag-inspire sa akin.
Wow.
Sa arts naman, si Diego Rivera, no? Kaya din napasok ako sa mga big murals. Yan, si Diego Rivera kasi hindi lang siya nag-express, diba? Hindi lang siya nag-express ng art niya, ng damdamin niya, kundi he made his art as a weapon to help the plight of yung mga laborers, diba? Mga slaves. So may narrative siya na gano'n, may storytelling din sa malalaking pieces niya. So sabi ko siguro ito rin yung gagamitin kong medium kasi I want to speak like loudly. That's why sobrang lalaki din yung mga murals na ginagawa. At syempre kayo yung lahat mga inspiration ko na yan.
So I think, with the press of time, gusto ko lang parang mga last messages, I guess, parang to someone who's watching here, they don't know what to do, what they want, they might not have the kind of the privilege that we were sharing about, or they're kind of lost, aspiring as artists also. Those, what could be the last message, I guess, for each and every one of you for them? Because, art is about also accessibility. I think a lot of times we feel like art has, we go to the museums, and like what Chesley also, the quote that they said that in the Western world, it's like more in museums. You pay a ticket to actually visit an art, but here, in the Philippines, na parang, diba, parang it's amazing that the muralists allowed the accessibility of art also, right? For you to walk around EDSA, where you walk around and see it through your day-to-day life, that's ingrained something to your mundane life. So I guess, is there any advice, any last message that each one of you would like to share to the young artists, to aspiring people, not even young, like old people who wants to start, painting or picking up a camera? So I guess anyone can start. Feel free to share.
Siguro yung ibibigay ko na suggestion sa kanila is lumikha palagi na may intensyon at ng may pagpaparangal at ilubog ang sarili sa masa, sa material na realidad na niraranasan nila. Pati na rin ang paglubog sa sarili sa kalikasan mismo. At pwede mo rin gamitin ng kahit anong uri ng pagpapahayag, hindi lang sa sining visual, sa fotografiya, maaari sa pagsayaw, pag-awit o pagsulat. At ayun lang.
Salamat.
Mine would have to be finding a way to look at the world in a more sincere and honest way, and being able to share that sincerity to whatever medium or whatever voice you can find. And yeah, that'll be it. Just sincerity with the way you see the world.
Okay, I can go. I think for me, it would just be, I just want to remind young people that the art world is gigantic and there are 100 billion tracks that you can take. So it's a really nice thing to explore. There's a lot of fear, like I mentioned earlier. So I hope that young people find the courage to just pursue the things that they want and be brave enough to actually be confident in the things that they believe in. Yeah, that's it.
Yan. So para sa akin, lalo na sa aspiring photographers, stories are everywhere. Walang hierarchy yan ng stories. Kung ano yung makita mo, document mo. Try to do it every day if you can. And stay curious. Keep asking a lot of questions. And later on, huwag ka ma-pressure na hanapin mo yung focus mo, just do what you can, and just keep yourself excited as well.
What about you, Sir AG?
I always say na it's easy to love Mother Nature. You just have to decide to take the first step. And maraming tao na gustong gumawa ng pagbabago, mag-take part, pero hindi rin nila alam yung first step. And it's our job siguro as communicators to inspire and to teach, no? Mag-educate tayo. Ayun, si Chesley. Yung pagtuturo niya ng sining, hindi lang yung form, hindi lang yung produkto, kundi yung nasabi ka ni hugot nung napakalalim na history, di ba? So, maging teachers tayo sa paligid natin. We may not be able to access everyone, no? Sa dami nga naman ng tao. And another thing na gusto kong ipaalala sa mga environmentalists, over the years, no, natutunan ko na one of my truths is that we don't have a monopoly of love for Mother Nature. Marami kasing dumadating sa point parang yabang na parang feeling nila sila lang yung environmentalist at kayo hindi. Diba? Hindi dapat kasi parang nasa gera tayo ngayon na imagine binabaril mo yung kasama mo sa frontline. Hindi dapat ganoon eh. We're after somebody or someone bigger. Diba? And at the same time, we're after yung pagtulong natin not just to ourselves but yung intention natin for something bigger than us. And so we're just, nabanggit din kanina, we're part of nature. Diba? Hindi tayo above nature. Parte tayo ng kalikasan. And yun sana lagi nating tandaan.
So thank you so much, Sir AG, Javi, Chesley, Pao, Cara, grabe.
Sobrang kulang ng oras, no, Gab?
Sobrang kulang. I know. I wish we had more time. Unfortunately, we don't. But it's really, there's just so many interesting and important highlights and insights that we've learned from this short but very fruitful discussion, and perhaps, I guess, the lesson is really, we're here together. We're all here working in different mediums or diverse backgrounds, diverse privileges, but, we're all using our talents and inspirations and potentials as individuals to create something greater than ourselves. And I think that's really so powerful that a lot of people don't realize in creating art, that it's not just about the ego, it's not just about the individuality, but really a whole collaborative piece, like a forest, the biodiversity, the interconnected relationships that we have and the interconnected stories that we share. I guess, I don't know if we can still have time for a few questions from the audience, because, I think for sure there's a lot, but maybe we can answer one question from the audience. Okay, so there's no questions.
Maybe we can encourage them to follow these amazing artists.
Amazing artists.
Where beyond this discussion.
Yeah, because where can they actually find your next projects coming up, where do you, your platforms? I guess please feel free to plug and share. Everyone's excited to see your work, more of your work also.
Yeah, maybe quickly let us know what your IG handle is or Twitter handle para people can immediately follow you.
People can follow Kagubatan. Let them follow the Kagubatan page. We're all going to be launching on November 10. And then for me, my art is on Details Inc. On Instagram.
I know you guys are all prudent and humble. I know. It's okay to share. Yeah. Okay, I'll do it for you guys. So you can follow Javi Kang at Javi Kang, JavyCang, and you can follow Chesley at Alaga at Sining on Instagram, and you can also follow Pao at Villanueva Pao at Instagram. And I guess you have any portfolios also online, you can find it there. And Sir AG, where can we actually see more of your work, and where can we see more stories to tell?
Sa Friendster. Sobrang luma, no? Hindi,
Sa EDSA, sa C5, sa underpass ng Ayala Avenue.
basta buksan niyo yung mata ninyo. Basta may makita ko
Oo.
yung dolphin anywhere, that's me. Like this one.
Oo
And
nga eh.
you can bet that's my work. Sige. Yeah,
But
and
yeah.
sa Instagram naman meron akong pinopost on Whaleboy 2000. That's me.
So thank you so much, everyone. So I guess this wraps up the second episode, the Artist Conservation Conversation. And as Kara mentioned, stay tuned for the upcoming launch of Kagubatan, happening on November 10. And we'll be having our last upcoming episode with the last remaining artists from the lineup. And we hope, you can support this whole initiative. This is for the education of, art and for nature conservation, as well as for, of course, the Ipo watershed and the forest management of our Ipo watershed. And we hope, we were able to learn something to pursue creating art and realizing its power and its significance to make an impact as we work together in protecting and conserving our forests and helping, of course, the people who protect these places and the local communities living within these places. So thank you so much, everyone. This has been Gab and Sir AG.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And Gab, really proud of you and your initiatives. Now let's continue working together for Mother Nature.
Yeah, so thank you so much. We're now signing off, and we hope you had a fruitful time. Thanks for sharing time, and we're so excited for the next upcoming webinar series after this. So bye, everyone. There's a live stream off.